Hello and welcome back to my channel, Crafty Concepts with Erin. I'm Erin and I'm here with the creative design team this week, bringing you ideas for back to school. When I look at the Cozy Up paper collection from close to my heart, at first glance, you see fall, right? We've got pumpkins and fall leaves, very fall inspired color palettes. But if you look a little closer, you can easily see back to school or reading theme. If those of you that love to read like I do and you keep track of your books, maybe have a book journal, I think that you're going to love this paper pack. But look at all these cute stacks of books and the open books. They could also be notebooks, little glasses. So to me, this is very fall and also back to school. So it's called Cozy Up because you just can't help but think of cozying up with a good book in the fall. This is the sticker sheets. You can see there's a couple border stickers of these cute little stack books and more books here. So many books, so little time. Good books are like best friends. But then you also have the very fall inspired. So I feel like you can combine them or you can go either way. So since this is a collaboration on back to school, I am documenting a couple photos. This is my son Hayden and his girlfriend Desiree back in 2020. I hadn't scrapbooked these yet, and we have a little bit different, they didn't go to a traditional school. My kids are homeschooled, but they could go and attend classes a couple days a week at this little program. And that is where Hayden met his girlfriend Desiree. And fast forward 3 years, they're still together. And many of you have seen her pop up in a lot of my scrapbook layouts. But it's in September. So it's fall. You've got all the fall leaves. And then she's wearing this pumpkin colored cardigan. So it's perfect. And I know I definitely want to use this one here to just highlight that back to school. And then I think the browns will play in very nicely because we've got a lot of browns in the photos, and that really makes those pictures pop. So I'm going to go ahead and clear this off of my desk, grab my Versamat. I am also going to be pulling in an item from the digital art collection for my title, and I'm excited to use it because it is a little book and it is just so adorable. We're going to build this on a sheet of white daisy, and I know where I'm going with this layout because I'm actually scrap lifting myself, and after we finish this layout I'll bring in the original layout and you can see the differences I made. So this paper pack, although it really helps tell the story, it's a busy pattern and a lot of that kind of honey butter color in the background. So I don't want a whole lot of that showing. So what I'm thinking is just a strip of it at the top, and then we'll have the brown color, this mocha with this little subtle pattern on the background, where my photos, because I really like them against the mocha colored background. So maybe something like that. I might put this one underneath there so we're hiding more of that bright green color. And I'm just kind of getting an idea of how big of a piece I want to cut. I may take that all the way to the top. I may bump it down and leave a little bit of white. I am thinking 2 inches looks good. This paper doesn't really have a direction. You can kind of turn this any which way and same for the other side. So it's just a good idea to be mindful of the direction of both sides of the paper before you make your cuts so that it is all very usable. I'm going to actually make this 2 1/4 just so I have a little wiggle room to overlap those papers. It's going to go right up at the top. And then we'll bring this one in here. And I'm thinking I'm going to leave that zip strip. This is the branding strip. On the other side, it tells you all of the featured colors in this paper pack, which is really handy. So you know right away what inks to grab. But yeah, I think I'm going to use that as my border between the two. So we're going to leave that on there. Let's go ahead and cut this one at 6 inches. So we want 6 inches of the brown color. Slide that right up. And then if you caught my last video where I was using the other fall paper pack with the gnomes, I talked about this word search paper. Let me grab it. So it's this one here. I already used part of it, so it's not a full 12 by 12, but I thought this would be fun for back to school. So I'm thinking I want this underneath. Now my words are going the wrong way. I'm going to have to grab the other sheet of paper because I didn't cut it right. Well, I didn't cut it wrong, but you know what I mean. I didn't cut it right to work for this one. So I'm just kind of getting an idea of what that's going to look like and how big of a piece I might need. And then I definitely want to use that book border. So we've got this from the coordinating sticker sheet, and I want this on the bottom. I didn't want it too close to that pattern paper up top because it's just a little too busy. So we'll put it down here. So maybe just a couple inches of that word search paper. Let me just set that aside for now. And it's kind of funny, these two paper packs, they go really well together. So look at all of those colors. I mean, you could even do something like that. They play very nicely together and can be mixed and matched. Okay, so I have a piece that's a couple inches and I do want to tear this. So let's go ahead and just tear that across the bottom here. And I want it fairly straight, so I'm tearing carefully, tearing it towards me. And that little word on the bottom, Farmer's Market, was super obvious too, so I kind of wanted to get rid of that one. It's just a little bit bolder of a color. So we can put that there and then bring in our little book border. And again, cornucopia is really jumping out at me, so I am going to strategically place this to camouflage that. The other colors are a little bit more muted and they're not grabbing your attention. Let's see how it's looking with the photos before I adhere everything down. And let me bump this down just a little bit more here to the bottom of our Mocha piece. And yep, I think it's going to look good. Let me grab my ink to ink up the edges. I'm going to use Mocha ink to do that. I'll go ahead and just get a little bit done on camera and then pause it and finish the rest of it here. So if you don't have back to school photos, as I mentioned, if you are a reader, this would be a great layout that you could document some books that you're currently reading, or maybe even favorite books that you've read in the past. And if you like, I read on a Kindle, so I don't actually have the books. It looks so nice to have a stack of books all neatly piled up. It makes a great photograph. But I like to just screenshot those online. You just go and you find the book on maybe Amazon and take a screenshot, and then you can print the book that way to add if you want to add pictures of your books. I just think it's really cute. So we'll do this one here. Last time I did a reading layout, I asked everybody for their favorite book recommendations, and there were so many good ones. I'm still working through that list. Whenever I don't have something or I can't find something that I'm interested in reading, I go back to the comment section of that video and look for books from you guys, and I have found so many great ones. So it's kind of fun to have that recommendation list. Now for my title, I am going to be using from the digital art collection. There is this book here, and I've already gone ahead and cut that out. We're going to put it together, but I want to do a little bit, I want to add a few things to this book. But as you can see, I know it doesn't make sense. I've got to line that up, but you get the text. I cut that in Mocha, and then there's the base of your book, and then we have the pages of the book. And I just think this is adorable. And on to the next chapter totally makes sense for a school layout for me, because that's what they're doing. It's the start of a new year. They're on to the next chapter, and of course they do a ton of reading. At least they do in these particular classes that they were going to. But the digital art collection for Cozy Up, there's a card, several cards, and then more title options, a book, teapot. These are 3D pumpkins, so you put these together and they would be like party decor or something of that nature. Honey pot, snail, a couple different mushrooms, there's leaves, and then you get a layout, welcome autumn, and then more cute mushrooms and all of these beautiful fall leaves. So you can just put this together as is and add your photos. You can change up the colors, you can change the title, do all sorts of things with these digital collections. So I did cut this out, and as I said, I want to add a little something to make this special. So let me just scoot this over here and grab my all-purpose mat. I don't want to lose my letters here, so let's just put those right there where I can keep an eye on them. We'll bring in our all-purpose mat. I'm going to do a little ink blending around the pages of this book to make it look kind of worn. Now, these are all cut in shortbread. So I've done the darker side of shortbread, and then these are in the lighter side. So you can see they are kind of meant to stack. The base is larger, and then it goes in, and then you have two individual pages there, and then again our base. Now this is going to be kind of mocha against mocha, so for this one I am going to sand the edges just to add a little bit of definition, and I'm only going to do the very edge because that's the only part you're going to see there, and that's just going to help it stand out where it's the same color. As you can see, let's do a little bit more. And you can see that white line helps it pop against the background. Let me grab my ink for this book. So this is going to be like tone on tone. So I grabbed the same ink, and then if you caught my last video, I used this setting the scene, and I'm just going to use this text for just a little background interest. I don't want it to be too busy because I don't want it to interfere with the title. So I think that this is going to work well. And if I don't like it, I can cut another one, right? So let's go ahead and get out this stamp set with the text on it here. Let me grab a block. I'm using the text because I want a little subtle background interest, so it's just something kind of fun behind my title. But how cute would this be for journaling? On the same setting the scene stamp, you have those lines, little dotted lines. Those would be great for journaling, and they're appropriately sized for this book, especially if you cut it out in this size. So stamp those journaling lines right across the book, and then you could add the story for your layout onto the little book. This little book is also giving me some Harry Potter vibes. So if you have any Harry Potter type pictures from, costumes or whatever, I think this little book would be a great accent for those type pictures as well. So I went ahead with my blending brush and I added the shortbread ink to kind of age the pages. And now I'm outlining the very edge with Mocha ink to give them some separation and definition. And then these, I'm just doing the edge because that's really all you're going to see on when the book is all layered up, so you don't need to add a little treatment, but you could make it so you could open these as well, so that's always a fun idea. Now I want them to have a little bit of shape, so I'm bending them with my fingers, just kind of rolling them around, arching them up, and I will add just a little bit of thin 3D foam tape to the top pages. So let me arc these as well, and you can see how good that looks with the stamping and the inking. My friend Katie, her channel's called Scrappin' Katie. In our creative design team private membership group, she did a project with these little books. Last month, we were focusing on the grid style concept for projects, and she made the cutest page and sewed her little books. If you head on over to the creative design team social media page, you can actually get a sneak peek of what that project looked like, but it was just so cute how she sewed them together. I loved the detail. You can see I'm just gluing the spine together, so these pages will kind of lift up a little bit, and then I added one strip of foam tape in the center, and this is thin 3D foam tape, and then I'm gluing it in the center. So that 3D foam tape is going to help it kind of retain that like rounded shape, if you will. Let's line those up in the center there. And let me hold this up so you can get a look at all that dimension. It's so cute, but it's not too bulky. It's not going to add a ton of dimension to your scrapbook layout using the thin 3D foam tape. So the letters cut out really nicely. They're grouped together so you don't have a gazillion little individual pieces. This makes them much easier to line up. So let me just get these kind of situated here, sliding them into place, making sure I'm happy with the layout. And then we've got one more little letter, the E, and then you can just kind of slide them and adjust them. And I am going to glue those off camera using the Barely Art fine tip glue. Let's see how this is going to look with our photos. Let me get these back into place here. And then our cute little book title, I do want that overlapping the photo just a bit. I wanted to show you because I'm going to be pulling in some of these die cut pieces. This is where they came from. I got the Cozy Up Scrapbooking Workshop where you get the directions to create these 3 double page layouts. So you can see they have a bunch of bits and pieces and those come already for you. I like this layout here. That's my favorite. They come already for you in these punch out sheets. So like there's another title option, just one more chapter. If it had been their senior year, that would have been a good title. But yeah, you get bonus papers too. So there's this one, you can pop that out to create a frame style layout, or if you don't want to follow along with the workshop, you can do your own thing. There's these two bonus pattern papers. I really like that one. And then here are all those die cut strips that you can, again, make those projects or do something totally different with. It's up to you. But I'm going to be punching out these die cuts and using some of those pieces. I also have this stamp set, Cozy Up Scrapbooking, with the books and teapots. So a lot of these images are on the coordinating sticker sheet here. I do know I want to use those, but you can see there's that stack of books. So if the sticker didn't coordinate with your project, you can stamp those and color them in any color you want. And everything shaded in this blue-green color has a thin cut, but there's an open book at a different angle. How cute would the teapot be sitting on top of the books? And then, there's a teapot there. There's more books on the sticker sheet. And then all these little, I might use this one here. Read books. Let me pull this back into place here. So I need to bring a little bit of this yellow color down to the bottom because it's kind of top heavy. So we need to balance that out with some color down here. In this, the punch out die cuts, there was this piece here. So I thought, that might do the trick. We could just kind of build up a few little banner pieces here. And I know I want to use the books kind of in this area. So we're going to build up an embellishment cluster right here. They also had this orange circle. Desiree's wearing that pumpkin colored cardigan, so I thought maybe we can kind of do something of this nature, kind of overlapping those. Maybe we could put this little read books down here. There's also a bunch of these little brown ones, so we might be able to kind of add some of those too, just to add a little more weight to this area down here. I want those a little bit more varied in height. And then maybe this here. I've removed the adhesive off of these so I can move them around. I don't know about that one yet. I have a bunch of these wooden hearts, and I thought that these would be cute on the layout since they are high school sweethearts here. So let's see, we've got a couple different sizes. I think I like the bigger one here. That is very cute. Overlapping the photo. I don't want this, it's almost too close to his head, so I want to back that off just a little bit more. And then I'm going to put the journaling here and probably strip journaling the school and the year and maybe some other details there. I've got to think about that. I also have a couple leaves that we can maybe tuck behind here, just to bring in more yellow, and then these leaves are repeated in the pattern up there as well. So we'll just kind of tuck this little guy going down, and then I still want to use this. What if we just put it right here? That looks cute. I found a few more yellow die cuts, and I was thinking I could put these in, just a couple little chevrons, maybe right there. What about down here? Bring more yellow down to this area here. You know what? I like that. We're going to go with that. And then I was really kind of, planning on strip journaling, but then I found this that's going to work better. My sister-in-law and I went and made up a bunch of these. I have a stamp set, and then there's a coordinating Cricut image. Now this is from way back in the day when Close to My Heart used to collaborate with Cricut, and they'd have stamp sets that went along with the cartridge, and that's how you printed this out. But I know there are other things like this on Cricut, or you may even have a punch that creates this notebook edge or a die, but it doesn't get any more school themed than this. So I thought this will work really well, and yeah, that is going to look cute. Let's tuck it underneath the book here, maybe on an angle to offset this one over here. We'll angle it that way, and then let's bring in a few more wooden elements. We've got this one and maybe some arrows too. We can do arrows. Let me grab those. You know, and now's a good time. I always, think of this at the very end of the video. And if you guys are enjoying this video, if you're learning or if this is inspiring you, just take a minute and click that thumbs up button. It does help me quite a bit here on YouTube. And even more so if you share it with one of your crafty friends. Just text it to them, someone that you think might enjoy the video. And that does help me out and is a free way to support me. Let's try an arrow here. That's cute. I'm going to add my journaling first before I adhere that down because it'll be a little bit easier to write on, but I do like the way that looks. Let's add a few more stickers over here. I am going to hold off on adding my journaling because I do want to just double check a few of the facts with both Hayden and Desiree before I fill that out. So when you go over to my social media accounts like Instagram, Pinterest, or Facebook and look for the still shots, it'll have the journaling then. Right before I added these two stickers, I had paused the camera and I changed something on the layout, and I have not pointed it out, and I'm really curious if anyone noticed that change or not. So if you do see it, let me know in the comments below what that change is. It's not inking up this edge. I did add a little bit of Mocha ink to the torn edge of this word search paper, so technically I did change that, but it's something else beside that. And again, it kind of happened right before I added these stickers, so if you're looking for it in the video, if it's not obvious, you can go back and find it there. I remembered I have this stamp set in my stash. It's called Smarty Pants, and I went and checked, and there are still some available with the thin cuts. This is totally school themed, so if you have younger school-aged children, this is a stamp set I think you would use a lot. Little lined, I know it's difficult to see, but there's a little like lined notebook, and then you can stamp this super cute pencil. It says, "I'll always pencil you in," and I thought that that would be cute for these two. But there's like a pair of Converse, scissors, paper airplane, A+, a little stamp where you can stamp my favorite subject, and then it's got all the subjects you can check. You're a star, you can't spell awesome without me, from the desk of, and then a new day, a new adventure. I've used this quite a bit. I have some stamped images in here so you can see those just a little bit better. Let me get those out. So there's the paper airplane, and that's actually a sticker, but the stamp looks the same. And then the pencil, I just haven't cut that out, but there is a coordinating die cut. This is the "You Can't Spell Awesome Without Me." I just did a little background stamping and then stamped the sentiment over the top. And then "A New Day, a New Adventure" is this circle, which works for so many things. And then I stamped the A+ in it, and then ended up not using these on a project. The apple's from something else. It doesn't have an apple. But anyway, I just wanted to show you this because if you're looking for back to school stuff, you might want to check out the Smarty Pants stamp. I thought that I would put this pencil maybe down here. I kind of thought maybe on the side of the book or down here, but I think I like it right there. We could put it across the heart there, or even down here. Let's go across the heart. I like that. That looks good to me. Let me hold this up so you can get a better look at it, and then we'll bring in that other layout that I scrap lifted. So isn't that cute? Everything working together to make a cute little embellishment cluster to help tell the story. And that cute book, I still need to add my journaling. Again, I'll do that before I take the still shots. Now my inspiration layout does have a process video. I created this a while ago on my YouTube channel. You may have caught the video. If not, I'll leave it in the description box below. But you can see the similarities. My title's roughly in the same spot. My embellishment cluster, I've done the little banners. I've got the two photos, even the wooden hearts. So don't forget to shop your own layouts for inspiration. Now catch the rest of the creative design team videos here in the playlist on the right. And if you're looking for more back to school type projects, check the playlist here on the left. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.